Do you want to give any score predictions?
Well, read some of the fixtures out and let's see what we think. I think predictions in terms of especially the biggest match of the weekend when it's Arsenal.
Leicester Nottingham Forest on Friday.
Leicester Nottingham Forest. Oh, I'm not sure how Nottingham Forest are going to get on, but Leicester, surely that's a bit of a local derby as well. So
Okay.
I want to say Leicester because they come back and they're going to be on a high. So let's go with Leicester for that one.
Okay. I agree.
Leicester to win. I'm not sure about scoring,
Yes.
but we'll go with Leicester.
Saturday, Aston Villa, Bournemouth. Interesting match.
On Saturday after a Champions League game as well. Bournemouth after the Arsenal game. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. I'll still go with Villa though. Tight win.
You go with Villa. I'll go with draw.
Yeah, between a draw or a tight win. I'm going to go for a win.
As soon as you say your prediction, it's written down.
It's written down. It's a win. It's a Villa win.
Brentford Ipswich.
Brentford Ipswich. Oof. I'm going to go for a draw in that one.
Draw. Okay.
Ipswich still won't be winning.
Okay.
Yet for me.
I think Brentford will.
I think Brentford will get over the line.
Yes. Brighton Wolves.
I'm sorry, Wolves. I think it's the Brighton win.
Okay.
What do you think?
Agree. Man City, Southampton, I think it's easy to predict.
You think so? But yeah, I'm gonna go for a Man City win. Yeah.
After the international break, we are back. Had a full, it's the 8th day of the season. Let me go through the results, apart from Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, because it's today where we record this episode. Man United, Brentford 2-1, Spurs, West Ham 4-1, Fulham, Aston Villa 1-3, Newcastle, Brighton 0-1. Southampton, Leicester 2-3, Ipswich, Everton 0-2, Bournemouth, Arsenal 2-0, and on Sunday we had Wolves, Man City 1-2, and Liverpool, Chelsea 2-1. Where shall we start? We had a very interesting start this weekend. 5 red cards.
Yeah, the discipline was sort of all over the place this weekend, and obviously lots of talking points when you have red cards. It's you end up talking a lot about the referees and the incidents and VAR. Shall we start with Man United, because it was a much needed win, wasn't it? And obviously Højlund got his goal that he's been looking for. Garnacho hasn't scored for a very long time. He got his goal, and you ended the goal drought. You finally scored a goal.
You have the Argentinian T-shirt behind you.
Yeah, maybe it brought a bit of luck, because it was a great goal, wasn't it? It was a really good finish on the volley. Come back though again.
Both of them.
Both of the goals were good, but you had to come from 1-0 down. I bet I could hear it. I was watching the game. I could hear the crowd like, "Here we go again." Not another poor performance, or or going behind and not another loss potentially. But I think they came back quite strong.
I think what happened, the incident in the first half, everybody was a bit angry. In my opinion, it was the medical staff's fault, because they allowed him to come back without, I thought they at least they were going to have a headband or something.
Yeah, they didn't properly deal with it or patch him up or anything, or what was going on there. It was a bit amateur, really.
And after the match, the Haag accused the referee, but in my opinion, it was not the referee's fault.
No, and that was pretty poor, really, using that as an excuse. And I saw his reaction. There was a camera on the side of the pitch.
Yeah.
De Ligt going crazy, like, "You should have let me back on." But no, you can't be let on with that. They don't let you do that anymore. It's not like the 70s and 80s where you could have blood gushing from your head and just carry on. It's the protocol. Yeah. You have to make sure.
Actually, back in the 80s, it was the norm.
Yeah, all the players were like that. Yeah, exactly. But for him, he would have been there. But because as a defenders, when you know probably your strongest header of the ball is off the pitch, you can't just say, okay, well, he's not there, we'll just leave that spot. You've got to cover the gaps. You've got to adjust your plan. And that didn't seem like they did that. They was like, oh, he's off there. That's his gap. We'll leave it. It just seemed so obvious that he wasn't there. Really strange. Really poor.
But it was a really good header.
It was a great header, The argument was he would be there to challenge or defend De Ligt, but obviously you got to defend it. You got to do your one-to-one.
He jumped really high.
Yeah,
and if I'm not,
it was really strong.
If I'm not mistaken, it was Dalot who was marking him, and he missed him, because he moved in front and had the header.
Yeah, he did. He got the run on him there, and it was a really good goal.
And it was no chance for Onana really.
No, you can't really blame him there. No chance.
But it was the turning point. Every episode I keep using this term. It was a turning point because it looks like they got to half time. Everybody was really angry and they came out, and it was even though for the first time they were playing really quick transitions from defense to attack. It was like a different tempo, rhythm in the game. Before the way they were, their setup was really slow built up, and this match they were playing really quickly, and especially in the transition from the defense to attack. And in the second half, he made some tactical changes with Dalot coming inside. In the first few minutes, Bradford they couldn't. They didn't know how to cope with that. Afterwards, their coach made some adjustments in order to cover for that. And but I have seen really good performance. I know man of the match was Garnacho, but for the first time, I was pleasantly surprised by Højlund. Really quick in his reaction. He was turning his defender all the time, quick movement.
He looked more involved and he looked more lively, and that's giving him confidence to goal as well. It should spur him on. I think one thing I noticed is, and having been to games over the years, you only understand it when you're in the crowd. If there's an incident that gets you going, or the crowd get angry about something, or they feel there's a sense of injustice, a bit like that player off the pitch, even though he should have been off the pitch. The crowd were getting angry. The players were storming down the tunnel. They were annoyed. De Ligt was annoyed. Oh, everyone's against this sort of attitude, backs against the wall, all that sort of thing. When that happens, it can spur you on. And that's how I think, obviously, with the game plan was a bit better applied by the players, as you could see, as you were saying, with the transitions and the players connecting with each other. But I think they play with that sense of purpose, that fire in their bellies, and I think it made a difference.
And the fact that they equalized really quickly after half time.
Yeah, that really did help. What a great time to score, straight after half time. And then you just build on that and the confidence, rather than the crowd getting a bit nervier. And that I think they had a bit more support there from the fans, because they were like, we're all in this together now. We're going to fight this injustice they felt that it was, the player being off the pitch. And then I think they just overpowered them. They did play well though as well.
And also, now that you mentioned about the supporters, I think I mentioned this before, 74,000 at Old Trafford. Sometimes it's a really quiet place, but it wasn't. You could feel it, even though you're watching it from the television. You could feel that everybody was pumped up in the second half, and they got the result. Okay, another week for the hack.
It seems to have extended his lifetime a little bit longer.
Because after the Aston Villa match, everybody was discussing. That was the first win after 6 matches. And after the Aston Villa was very conservative, that he was trying to just get the draw and get on to the next one. We had these meetings, in London and Manchester, Sir Jim Ratcliffe with the other guys, and everybody started again. You say, oh, maybe they're going to get rid of him, and this. It looks like every week. Okay, can you imagine being manager of Manchester United and trying to work and I understand that. it's a huge club. The exposure is there, but for the manager, okay, it's too much pressure in my opinion.
Well, yeah, and I think a few people are looking at the international break thinking, okay, that gives Ratcliffe and the others a bit of time to get together and have more discussions as well as the ones they already had before it. Thinking, oh, okay, they've got a bit of time, thinking time. Is this the time where they might get rid of him finally? You know,
Usually you do have changes in the international breaks.
It gives them an opportunity, doesn't it, to do that, and then maybe think longer and a bit more clearly about the decision they want to make. But he survived the international break. Yeah. There's going to be another one in a few weeks' time. So will he survive that? Let's see what the results are like next
and
few
also
weeks.
The fact that the FA appointed Tuchel. It was another coach off his back, of the Hack's back.
Yeah, because the FA really got in there ahead of Man United, because he would have been linked, wouldn't he, with the job?
He was linked for such a long time.
All over the summer, everything, because he was one of the premium managers who were out there available.
Exactly. So he likes breathing space for the Hack.
Breathing space, but also more questions for Man United, because if they do get rid of Ten Hag, who are they going to bring in? The options there's one less top quality manager now in the pool of managers, so it might give him a bit more time.
We'll see what's going to happen. Yeah. I watched the Spurs West Ham match. West Ham went in front, and you thought that there might be an upset here because Spurs are strong at home. I know they have some. This year they have not been consistent like last year, but he made some adjustments. Postecoglou, and 4-1 was a fair result, because the second half it was like a different team.
It could have been more than 4. Yeah. I mean, West Ham were lucky that there was only 4 goals. They only conceded 4 goals. The goalkeeper kept giving the ball away from the goal kicks, and the defence seemed to be all over the place. The only threat they had was sort of on the wing. The two players on the wing, Bowen and Kudus. Kudus got the goal, then got sent off. Oh, it's not looking good.
It was a send-off, and I don't understand how the referee missed it.
Yeah,
it was a clear send-off.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened there. Again, how are they not in position to make those calls? It's really, really odd. They should be on it, really, shouldn't they? The referees.
Sometimes you feel that they rely too much on the VAR.
It's almost like that's an insurance option, and maybe they don't seem to make the call. Make that call and then because this is the system we have, then let VAR take a look at it, rather than just, VAR. Yeah. I don't know if that goes through their minds. It's all a bit strange.
Yeah, but still you have the option to give the red card and then the VAR to correct you. So it's a matter of the referee's personality, because I don't know. Because
that's not applying the consistency then, exactly. Is it? If the referees are thinking differently about how to interpret the rules.
Exactly. And then we had the Fulham Aston Villa, who had 2 red cards.
Yeah, I don't know what is going on, and the missed penalty as well. And so Villa are doing quite well this season. I mean, they've coped so far. I mean, they've had Champions League. They had that really great victory against Bayern Munich. Fantastic for them, memorable night for them. But it's not seemed to have affected them yet, because
in my opinion, it has affected them on when they played Man United. After the Bayern game,
it's always after
they were not the same team that we have been watching up to that match.
It was a really dull game, and it wasn't what you expected.
It was boring.
From that. Yeah, it was one of the probably most boring games of the season so far, because I watched it, but I sort of ended up switching off in my head when I was watching it. It was really, really not a good watch. But they're positioned well. They've got the points on the board. They seem to be fresher, when there's not on the back of a tough European fixture. Again, we've got some fixtures this week, so next week, let's see how they perform. Next match day after they play another game this week in the Champions League. So let's wait and see on that one. But good points on the board to Villa, and he's a top manager, as we know, Unai Emery.
And what happened to your team, Newcastle?
I didn't think it was the worst performance. Again, I think the problem is putting the ball in the net. It's the easiest. It's the easiest thing to say, but obviously they need to put the ball in the net. But I saw the stat. There was last two games, Newcastle had 35 shots on goal. The Everton game and the Brighton game at the weekend, 35 shots. It said expected goals was 4 out of that, and they scored 0. There was some chances. players were through on goal. Isak had a shot saved away, and just you just thinking that Almiron had one in the Everton game. It's just not. There's no clinicalness in the final third. They're just not putting the ball in the net. They're not working the keeper enough or following up, because there's a few opportunities where they could have followed up from saves. Isak was injured, and also Gordon missed the penalty last week as well. It's just one of those things. It's just not clicking in that final part of the pitch that really matters. That's the difference.
If you compare, I mean, for instance, Spurs. I know that you mentioned these players, but if you look at Spurs, they don't have an out-and-out centre forward this year. I don't know.
Well, they got the target man Solanke, haven't they? But he could be the focal point.
But you see that they are working the ball, when they get to the outside the box, and they're trying for different players to score. Okay, and the modern football, and we have seen this in the summer in the Euros, that I think we discussed this again. There is not, it looks like the teams are getting away of one tackle man, and they spread the goals around. So this is something that we see more and more. With Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah, they spread it around everywhere, all the midfield, all across the midfield, they score goals. Yeah, the top teams have that. They do. Arsenal did it last season. They've done it at the start of the season. Newcastle don't have enough goals across the team. And that was the same problem with Man United, wasn't it? But these teams, say top half of the middle bunch of teams, they need other players to contribute, especially when there's injuries, especially like Newcastle had Isak out. They've still got Callum Wilson, the other striker, is still injured. It seems like he's always injured, to be honest. There's not any other options there's not any other real attacking threats in terms of scoring goals. It all looks good up to a certain point. Nice playing it, working the positions, creating the chances. It's just that final bit. Just
someone to put the ball in the net.
Oh, it's so frustrating. That's one of the most frustrating things as a fan, or any team, of any fan will tell you. I've seen it over the years with other teams and so many. Just put the ball in the net, or it's great that they're creating chances. The manager will say, "Yeah, it's good. We're creating opportunities. That's a good sign. It's good that we've got the XG. We've got the 4 goals that we should have got, but they didn't get them. It doesn't matter at the end of it, So it's just finally, just something can click. Just work on something. Just work on. I don't know. They said, one of the pundits I saw, they said Newcastle literally didn't have their shooting boots on. They need sort of the kit man. I mean, it was a bit like that at times. You're thinking, how can these top quality players just not, I don't know, work the keeper more at the very least? Let's hope it improves. What can we say? Hopefully, can they work on it on the training ground? Is it something they can do? Is it just a confidence thing? I don't know. But they're creating the chances. They're having the shots. They're not scared to have a shot. It's just not going in. Maybe they just need a bit of luck. Maybe just need a lucky break.
And next match, I thought Southampton were going to get more points on the board, but again, they lost the match 2-3, and also had a red card.
Yeah, another one. I feel sorry for Southampton, because they went, and the manager, they went 2-0 up, and they looked like they were going to finally get that first win, and then a really good comeback, the latest of comebacks, when they scored in pretty much the last minute of the game in added time. And the scenes, Leicester, they were going crazy, and Jamie Vardy was up to his old tricks, winding up the Southampton fans like he does when the last minute goals go in. Sorry for Southampton, but that's going to feel like some defeats really hurt, don't they? That more than others. If you've been in the game, maybe you've had a bit of bad luck earlier on in the game. When it's a last minute winner and you've been 2-0 up, he's going to have to pick up his players again, because they were surely on for that first win of the season. And then and you're at home as well, you got your fans. It's just, and also when you've come up as well, when you're a new team back in the Premier League as well, you're looking to get up and running. The longer it goes on where you've not got that win, especially as a new team back up again, it just seems to be a monkey on your back, as they say. It just seems to just go on and on. It just, the negativity builds and the confidence drains. So I just hope for their sake, just for a competitive league, that they get that win soon, and then we can see how they get on, maybe with a bit more confidence.
And the last match we had on Saturday, very eventful match, Bournemouth-Arsenal. Another red card for Arsenal.
Red cards everywhere. I mean, that one, there was
too early in the match on the 30th minute.
Yeah, it was. What did you think? Do you think it was a red card?
I don't know. I'm not. I was watching it on television. A lot of the times I'm asked, do you think it was a red card? It was not a red card. I know now they have all the angles in the VAR. It's not just what we see while it is a live broadcast. In the VAR booth, they have different angles.
Yeah, I'd say it was a red card because the player was through on goal and he would have reached the ball before the keeper and the other covering defender, which I think was White, was coming across. He would have been through on goal. And, that's a goal scoring opportunity. Clear denial. He fouled him. Interestingly, though, not just the angles that VAR saw, but at the time, the host broadcaster Sky, which it was on in the UK, showed an interesting angle that nobody's really would have seen usually. It was from a drone above the stadium, literally above the stadium, quite high up. And you could see how the curvature of the ball, the pass, was sort of going towards Ben White, the covering defender. So you could see it arching. It's hard to tell because obviously the player didn't make it to the ball first because he was fouled. But it would have been interesting to see if that hadn't have been blocked off or he hadn't have been fouled, how they would have come together, the two players, and whether he would have been, because Ben White's such a quick player as well, he would have really got across quite quickly. Whether he would have beaten that player to it, or he would have been in position to be the person he faced, not the keeper. He wouldn't have been one-on-one with the keeper. So that was interesting. I just saw the pace of the ball was everything as well. It was quite a bit of pace on the ball. So it's hard to tell, but that angle sort of threatened to change my mind on it. But I still think it's a red card. But you couldn't tell from that angle, that top angle, whether they would have come together or not. I think when I watched it, but. Yeah, I think the referee, you just got to give it. I think you just got to give it as a red card because it was a denial. It was a blatant block. He did sort of drag him down. So problem is with red cards, it then changes the game. We've seen it with the Arsenal when they played Man City.
It changes the games.
It ruins the spectacle.
Exactly.
It did, especially did in that Man City Arsenal game at the Etihad when Man City went down, didn't they, to 10 men, and they had to defend. It was very boring.
On the other hand, it's a huge win for Bournemouth.
Fantastic win, wasn't it?
And the psychological boost.
And they're still playing a top team, even if they're down by one. They're still a top team, man for man. They're way better quality players at Arsenal than Bournemouth, and they still turned it on. They played well, and they still held out defensively because Arsenal obviously tried to attack too.
We spoke before about Southampton and how psychologically it trains the player when it happens, and this is exactly the opposite. It might be a turning point for Bournemouth going forward.
Yeah, no, we like their manager, don't we? Because he was in Cyprus.
Yes,
and he speaks highly of his time
very
here. Very passionate guy, likable man, and I think he's done a really good job. He did well last season. The way they performed,
exactly.
I like him. I hope they do well. And they're a small club, small stadium, compact, tough place to go really. And for a night game on Saturday, and Arsenal obviously struggled. So bad news for Arsenal, that one.
And on Sunday we had another eventful match with Man City.
Very eventful, yeah. And I said I felt sorry for Southampton. What about Wolves? I mean, I feel sorry for them.
Unlucky.
Very sorry.
Unlucky.
And they we were all shocked. I was watching it and I looked at what are they doing? 1-0 up against Man City. I was really surprised to see that. I was, and I think everybody was. Man City were, but they got the confidence. They know they can come back. But then, the way they won it. Now, what do you make of that incident? With the goal, the goal was technically ruled out for offside, which I don't agree. It wasn't offside, no. But it's the interfering with the goalkeeper that we're talking about.
He just made them these. He didn't make himself bigger. Actually, on the contrary, he went down like he was and.
But the goalkeeper, you mean?
No, in front. He was in front of
the player in front, Silva. Yeah, Bernardo
Silva. And this is a matter of interpretation. Okay, so they watched it again and they considered it was not. Of course, there is a conspiracy theory that is Man City and everybody is favoring Man City to. Well, I remember when Man United were winning all these titles, every year it was the same thing, that the referees were favoring Man United. But now with the technology and the VAR and And also another, you're asking me, but I need to see exactly the angle head on.
Well, yeah, I'll tell
not
you,
from the
yeah.
you know, if you're on the side, it's a different angle. If you're just
Yeah, it does vary, but they get given all
vary.
the angles, don't they? They get given the angles to look at it in different ways.
Yeah, but I was not watching that.
Yeah.
Did you see?
So I saw the angles. I watched the angles. So I wanted to really understand it. So what I think happened is, from the different angles, the ball was taken, the kick was taken from the corner. So as the player struck the corner, took the corner, as soon as the ball left his boot, Bernardo Silva was on the toes of the goalkeeper Sarr. Yeah, and he was in his way. Right? He was sort of crouching a little bit. What he did is he nudged him. He moved back slightly and nudged him, and he sort of knocked him off balance a little bit. The goalkeeper, you could see this. He made a movement towards him, made contact with the goalkeeper as the ball was being played. But as the ball came into the box, you know, towards all the players in the box for the guy who scored it, you know, John Stones, who headed it, as it was getting towards him, yeah, Silva, like, he went down, like you say, he crouched down and moved out the way. So by the time Stones was ready to head the ball, Silva wasn't in the way of the goalkeeper and he wasn't blocking him, but he had knocked him off balance a little bit. The goalkeeper should maybe be stronger, but he was in the way, blocking the keeper, putting him off, and he actually made a movement physically to him. So I think it's a difficult one. It could have gone either way. I did want Man City to win in that fashion, you know, and I think Wolves deserved a point. They held out. They did well. They you know, and it could have been a boost for them would have been a massive boost for them to get a point, an unexpected point against City. But I thought it was unfair, and the original decision was offside, no. But I think it should have been he was interfering with the goalkeeper and he put him off a little bit. But yeah, when the header was struck, he wasn't in the way. He was out the way. It was different to other instances we've seen before.
And
unlucky, really unlucky.
We were discussing about refereeing decisions for about 25 minutes now.
And it's a shame, isn't it? But that's what happens. We said when we have all these red cards and these contentious debates. I've been listening to other debates about the weekend and just generally about football, saying we've gone from talking about referees to talking, you know, about that's inconsistency. There's inconsistency still, even with the VAR. It's still frustrating. I mean, I'd rather just talk about the referees' decision, not referees and VAR.
But at least in England, unlike other countries, there are some incidents. The VAR is looking at it, and the broadcasters they inform the viewers that it's been looked at the VAR, and they confirm there's no penalty, no this, no that. Okay. In other countries, they still delay the match. They stop the flow of the matches. We're waiting. You know, every time a goal is scored, we're waiting for 3-4 minutes until it's confirmed by the VAR, which I find really ridiculous.
It's really frustrating, and it's not why we watch football, is it? To be sat around just in the stadium, let alone at home, but in the stadium just looking around what's going on, trying, you know, sat with your friends saying, "Oh, okay, we've got 4 minutes now. What do? We just wait for the VAR to not communicate with us and just." Well, yeah, the players are just stood there in the middle of the pitch waiting, you know, in the cold, just waiting for something to happen.
And especially when the team score, okay, everybody is jumping up and down, celebrating, and then after 2-3 minutes, they say it's cancelled.
Yeah, and that's a strange one, because moving on to the Liverpool-Chelsea game, when Jackson scored, he scored and then it was ruled out, and then so he celebrated, and then he stopped, everyone was waiting, and then they said no, it was a goal onside, and then he celebrated. It was like a delayed celebration. It was really strange. He just stood there then waiting for the confirmation, then he decided to run towards the fans. It's a really odd situation.
And the last match on Sunday, which I thought really a top quality match, Liverpool-Chelsea 2-1. Liverpool 8 matches, 7 wins, 1 defeat after the international break against Nottingham Forest. So it looks like Liverpool are going to be strong contenders now for the title.
Yeah, well, I hope they are, because we originally said before, didn't we? We thought most likely going to be Man City and Arsenal.
Arsenal,
you know, or Arsenal's the challenger. We want we want to see as many teams challenging. We want it to be more interesting. We need somebody. The league needs somebody to challenge Man City. I hope Liverpool can give it a good go. I hope any team can give it a good go because we just don't want to see Man City winning every
concern with Liverpool is whether they have the depth, because it's a long season, and whether they have.
And we said this last season because it's pretty much the same squad as well. It is the same, apart from one player that they brought in. So it's if they can stay injury free, that's going to be a big thing. The latest news about Liverpool is that they've opened talks with Virgil van Dijk about a new contract, which is needed because he's running out of contract at the end of the season. I think Alexander-Arnold is too. And Salah.
Yeah, but 3-4 seasons ago when he had that big injury and he was out for so long, the Liverpool defense really suffered.
Yeah, so it's all about keeping.
So let's say you have an injury, a long-term injury to Mo Salah.
Yeah, that would be
Jota,
that would be a huge blow, wouldn't it? So it's just how they can keep their players all on the pitch and juggle it with the European matches, which we said before. You know how important that is to manage your squad. He's been impressive though, Arne Slot, and he's come in. He's not tried to change too much, but he has got his way of thinking, and he seems to. I said this before as well, but the players seem to be really playing for him. They enjoy playing for him, and they're the Liverpool we all know because they were exciting against Chelsea. It was always a game at Anfield. You used to think under Klopp, it's going to be swashbuckling, it's going to be end to end, it's going to be exciting. You know, the wingers get it out to the wingers, get it out to Salah. When it was Mane, get it out to him and take on the players. And there was always somebody in the box to nod it in, usually Firmino. It was just really exciting to watch, even as a neutral, as not as a Liverpool fan. I do like watching Liverpool, and Slot's come in. He's not been like, we'll just play it about, be boring, and there's no tactical plan there. He's really gone for it, and it suits Liverpool's identity and how they play.
On the contrary, it looks like there is always a tactical plan because watching the match, especially in the initial stages of the match, he was just the team he was compact behind. He gave the ball to Chelsea. They were waiting for them.
Yeah, it was unusual how they did it. But when they did attack, they get the numbers. That's what I mean. They get the bodies. They overlap. They go for it. You know, it was different to Klopp in terms of the lack of press. Yeah, but when it got to the that's what we want with Newcastle. But when it got to the final third, they actually seemed to be a bit more dangerous and put it in the net.
But this coach tactically, it is more interesting to watch Liverpool.
He's definitely brought a different dynamic to it.
Yeah,
with the players. But they obviously believe in what he's doing because look at the success he's had already.
And of course, if you have Jack 7 wins out of 10, out of 8, okay, psychologically is a real boost.
What we need to see is how they're going to perform against Arsenal when they play Arsenal next weekend.
Okay, before we go to next weekend, let's look at the table. Liverpool 21 points, Man City 20. Arsenal 17, Aston Villa 17, Brighton 15, Chelsea 14, and the 7th place Tottenham 13. And then on the bottom half of the table, Man United 11, Nottingham Forest, of course they still need to play Crystal Palace 10, Brentford 10, Leicester 9, West Ham 8, Everton 8, Ipswich 4, Crystal Palace 3, Southampton 1, and Wolves 1 point. So these 2-3 teams at the bottom, they need to start getting some points.
Ipswich 2, which we'll get on to in the weeks ahead.
So this coming extended weekend, because we have the first match on Friday. Do you want to give any score predictions?
Well, read some of the fixtures out and let's see what we think. I think predictions in terms of especially the biggest match of the weekend when it's Arsenal. Liverpool.
Leicester Nottingham Forest on Friday.
Leicester Nottingham Forest. Oh, I'm not sure how Nottingham Forest are going to get on, but Leicester, surely that's a bit of a local derby as well. So. Okay. I want to say Leicester because they come back and they're going to be on a high. So let's go with Leicester for that one.
Okay. I agree.
Leicester to win. I'm not sure about scoring, but we'll go with Leicester.
Saturday, Aston Villa, Bournemouth. Interesting match.
On Saturday after a Champions League game as well. Bournemouth after the Arsenal game. Oh, it's going to be a tough one. I'll still go with Villa though. Tight win.
You go with Villa. I'll go with draw.
Yeah, between a draw or a tight win. I'm going to go for a win.
As soon as you say your prediction, it's written down.
It's written down. It's a win. It's a Villa win.
Brentford, Ipswich.
Brentford, Ipswich. Oof. I'm going to go for a draw in that one.
Draw. Okay.
Ipswich still won't be winning.
Okay.
Yet for me.
I think Brentford will.
I think Brentford will get over the line. Yeah.
Yes. Brighton, Wolves.
I'm sorry, Wolves. I think it's the Brighton win.
Okay.
What do you think?
Agree. Man City, Southampton. I think it's easy to predict.
You think so? But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go for a Man City win. Yeah.
Everton, Fulham.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Oh, Everton, Fulham. Ooh. I'm gonna go for a Fulham win. Yeah. What do you think?
Draw.
Yeah.
Okay. And Chelsea, Newcastle.
I'm going to be optimistic and go for a draw. I think it's a tough place to go, Chelsea.
At home, Stamford Bridge. Chelsea win. Sorry.
I'm being optimistic with the draw, as I say.
Okay, Crystal Palace, Tottenham.
Another difficult one.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling Crystal Palace are going to win that one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I know. It's Spurs, though. It's Spurs. They're so inconsistent. I'm going to go with Crystal Palace.
Okay. Draw.
Yeah. You're being quite
I know that, you know, okay, it's not a local derby, but Tottenham away, they're up and down.
Yeah.
So
we both don't think they're going to win. So
yeah. West Ham, Man United.
Because West Ham are really underperforming this season, as are Man United, really. So that's a tricky one. I think I'll go with a draw for that one.
Okay.
What do you think?
With Man United being in a really difficult position, they have to win. So I think they will edge. It's going to be difficult,
especially after the European games.
Yes. Okay, and the highlight of the weekend: Arsenal, Liverpool.
What a tough one to call! Oh, really, really tough one to call. Arsenal, Liverpool. I'm going to say Arsenal surprised a few people. I don't say that lightly because they're at home. So I'm going to go with Arsenal.
Okay. Win. They have to win, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be a real blockbuster game. I think it has to be.
If they want to, you know, show to the world that they are really, you know, championship winning material. Let's put it this way. Team. They have to win. For two reasons, psychologically for them and to stop Liverpool.
Yeah, and Liverpool haven't lost yet, so that's a tough one to say Arsenal to win, but it's the toughest test for slot since he's been there. Yeah.
Arsenal win. Okay, I agree with you.
Oh, okay, good.
So we'll come next week and we'll see whether probably we'll not get anywhere.
No, let's be optimistic. Yeah, I'm being optimistic. So let's see. I'm being optimistic for Newcastle to get a point.
And next episode, you come prepared because we need to put some scores as well.
Yeah.
So if we're close,
we'll take it up a level next week and go for scores.
Yeah.
So this time we'll start nice and easy. Just go easy. Just do the Just
my predictions were really conservative. So
yeah. So you need to think more than I do because you actually put some goals to it, or not goals. Yeah. Let's see.
Maybe sometimes it's easier if you have a team that they don't score. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Newcastle nil because it's been like that the last few games. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Nicos.
Okay, so that's it for this episode, and we will discuss all these matches and the ones following next week. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.